and they said that a lot of the additives and things that people recommend putting in the water don't really help that much. The sugar and the
I used to do that
vinegar,
when I was
they don't put
little
vinegar in
again.
it. Yeah,
No.
but sugar and sometimes bleach.
Wow.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember.
But I think
It's
the
been a long
water,
time.
and they do have, and I almost brought it. If I'd known you were in need of help, I would have brought it. I have a big long funnel. If you might go to the hardware store or the box store by where the Christmas trees are, you might find a funnel that you can, because it gets a little bit more difficult once they're decorated.
I've been coming across that myself as well. I got to go underneath the ornaments to fill that thing up.
But anyway, the other thing, I hope you've got it away from a vent. And you've got it in a room
that's from a heater of any kind.
Right. And, you check the needles. It's always a good idea when you buy them to begin with, check those needles on the trees. I've heard that Fraser fir is the most long-lasting fir.
Yeah,
I've had trouble with noble fir. I had one year, and it's the only tree I ever took down before New Year's because I was scared to death of it.
Just because it was so dry.
So brittle.
It was so brittle, and it lost so many, and it just looked, it had the appearance. And I thought, oh man, I don't know when this was cut. But anyway, so
when you buy one, you want to make sure that the needles are flexible, that they're really,
healthy and not just, I was shaking around the tree a little bit to make sure I'm not just falling off right away.
Right. And that's always a good idea. You're best off if you cut it in the field, but if you cut it in Illinois, I think there are fewer and fewer Christmas tree farms. And they grow certain ones because certain trees just do not do well in our climate. It's a little bit like those poor old Colorado blue spruces people keep buying. And I'm like, they're not happy here. They're named Colorado blue spruce for a reason. But anyway, so you really want to check them when you get them home. And I don't know. I always put a fresh cut on mine. Have you ever?
Oh, yes. Always cut. Yeah, we always did.
We always did.
What's the reason for that?
Well, just to kind of expose newer intake.
And you never know how long that tree is set on set on the truck or wherever it came from. So you want a fresh cut. To go into your.
It can kind of close, like sitting on its own stump, it can kind of close off and kill those.
The cambium or the veins of a tree, the circulation system, if you will, of a tree is right there around that outer layer.
So the question is, did you cut yours off?
No. I just went into a hardware store and I was making sure that, I get my adjustments cut off as I need. They might have shortened it a little bit for me, so I think I did get a fresh cut on the bottom. Not myself, though. I don't have a saw.
Okay, but the next time, and they usually, most places that sell trees will offer to do that because they know that all of us.
Not everybody has a saw.
Right. That's not. I don't have that.
And your eyes are bigger in the field. At least that was the way when I had little kids, especially. Taking two little toddlers out to the tree farm, their eyes were very big and my house was still only so big. So that's the other thing. But like I said, if you make sure that, I don't think that any of the anti-desiccants and things, and I heard another interesting thing the other night on Mid-America Gardener. Phil Nixon was on there and he is like the guru of entomology. Okay. If you got bugs and you got questions about bugs, Phil Nixon's the guy.
Yes,
to answer them. He is. So anyway, he was talking about the fact that if people get worried about bringing in critters with their trees, like spiders, you've heard the old spider in the Christmas tree. That's where the, garland or twinkling comes from. Well, anyway, he pointed out most of these things are in dormancy. They won't come out of dormancy for about a month. And if you're keeping your tree for
longer
than a month. Was talking about people who called him and still had a tree up in mid-February. No. So that's when they start to break dormancy. Spiders, maybe pine needle scale. Oof. There are some other things. Not most of it will not bother your other house plants. Occasionally, I think he talked about finding a mantis, a mantis case one year on one. And the funny thing about his was the mantis case all the mantis cases that year, it was a very cold and it killed all of them. But that one, because by the time they put it outside, it was a live tree.
Oh.
And by the time they put it outside, it was beyond that point. But anyway, and that's another matter. Some people do buy living trees,
Sure.
which means that they're bringing in a bald and burlapped
Wow.
tree, and they're going to plant it later. My brother did that for years. He had some success and then some failures with it. You need to have your hole dug first, shallow and wide, and have that ready and you keep that tree probably in the house, I would say no longer than 2 weeks, wouldn't you, Sandy?
Yeah.
And then get it outside, and then get it out there, plant it and water it. I had someone say something to me the other day about I'd given them some plants and they hadn't watered them because they'd heard it was going to freeze. And I thought, no, you need to water. I don't care. It's not going to hurt the plants if their roots are wet.
Right.
It freezes.
That's a lot to take in right there with the Christmas trees right there. My biggest fear was a squirrel, gripping onto my tree right there as I brought it inside. But I didn't expect the dormant insects that will come alive if my tree is in my house. I'm not planning on keeping my tree till February, though.
Okay, if I'm going to check,
okay.
And if you still have it in February, we're going to give you a prevention of cruelty to Christmas trees. But the other thing to do with Christmas trees is to remember, how are you going to dispose of them? City of Taylorville, probably City of Pana, several other towns may have pickup. Does Stonington have pickup? I know, Sandy, you live in Stonington.
Yeah.
So, but if you don't do that, you can always do a number of things. You might have a friend with a pond. It can go in for fish habitat. I used to cut mine up when I still did a real tree and use it for, I made tents for my roses.
Oh,
instead of rose cones, I made tents out of my
we used
evergreen
to
foliage.
Lean it up against the fence or whatever for quite a while, and for birds to nest in there, and then we would put food in there for the birds because they would go in. That was protection for them for the winter. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's so. See,
we used to do that when we had live trees.
Yeah. So there are all kinds of things that, but like I said, pay attention to how you dispose of it. And I would encourage you not to take the wood apart and burn it in your fireplace. Christmas trees are evergreen, and they've got a lot of.
They're too sappy.
Yeah.
So
they will make a mess in your fireplace.
Definitely don't want that. You want to get that out of your house as soon as possible. Right. And the disposal was a fact that I had thought of course, after it was in my house. And I can't just put this in my dumpster. And it's, of course, hopefully there is a pickup day. I love the fact that you can throw these into a pond, a little habitat for fish. That's perfect. They could nestle up by that, and even a little bird feeding station right there.
Yeah. And some people may, if you have a friend who has a what do you call it, a grinder or you can put it in and use it for compost, add it to a compost pile too. So there's all kinds of things you can do with it, but be thoughtful when you do take it apart too. Be sure to take all of the tinsel off. My son's job when he was a teenager was always to lie under the Christmas tree and look for Father Christmas. We had one ornament. He was the one we used just to make us look really hard.
Yeah. There's always one left. Always one.
Always.
But you want tinsel off.
Sure.
Because it's not good for the birds.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're leaving it outside.
All right. Well, we got to.
And we know it wasn't pre-lit, so there's no big problem.
You don't want to leave out the pre-lit Christmas tree. That won't make for good nesting or for good feed for the birds at all. All right, awesome, guys. We have thank you so much for educating me on what I can do with my real Christmas tree I got at home. It's not going to go down early, and I'm going to make sure to get it out of my place soon enough before those little critters might wake up inside. We're sitting down right now with the Master Gardeners, Gwen Podesky and Sandy Klein. We're going to take ourselves a little break, and we'll have more with the Master Gardeners when we come back. I'm Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Your information station, WTIM.
Calling all future basketball stars, the Christian County YMCA has Youth League signups now available for kids in grades 1st through 4th and grades 5th through 8th. These are both 8-week sessions, and the games start in January. Your kids will stay active and have lots of fun. For questions, contact the Christian County YMCA. The Y, for youth development, for healthy living, for social responsibility. Your Christian County Health Department has both COVID and flu vaccines available, and both high-dose and regular dose flu vaccines are in stock. You can get both the COVID and flu vaccine shots at the same time, and there are a handful of egg-free flu vaccines available. Call the Christian County Health Department now for your appointment at 217-824-4113. That's 824-4113. Your Christian County Health Department is always working for a healthier future.
This is Dwayne Wheeler, the police chief of the city of Taylorville. As a law enforcement officer, I've seen the impact that depression and suicide have on many people. Many times, those contemplating suicide endure considerable suffering and distress, but there is help. If you feel depressed or lonely, there are many resources to help you. You can call a trusted relative, friend, or minister, or call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. That is 1-800-273-TALK. All of us are here to help you. Thank you.
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, are proud to continue their long-standing sponsorship of honoring Taylorville High School Students of the Month on WTIM's many platforms on AM, FM, and streamed online, and on WMKR Genuine Country 94.3.
Hello, my name is Ryan Sobish. I am the sophomore student of the month at THS High School. My parents are Patrick Campbell. And as for extracurricular activities, I do D&D club. And as for hobbies, I have D&D running. My future plans are trade school for welding. And my favorite subject is math.
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, salutes these great Taylorville High School students on this honor and wish them the best in their future. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Find out all the goods or services provided by DeMichael Floors and more. 1217 West Presser in Taylorville by clicking their icon on the obituaries page of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Find out about available units at Taylorville's Valley View Mobile Home Park, 913 North Taylorville Boulevard by clicking the Valley View Mobile Home Park icon on the obits page of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM, your information station. I'm Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Thank you so much to our stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better at Landmark. In my studio today, we got the Master Gardeners, Gwen Podesky and Sandy Klein. The whole first half, we talked about how to properly take care of your live Christmas tree, and I definitely learned a thing or two there. We're going to talk a few more minutes here about some Christmas time plants. We got some poinsettias. You always see those out. They create a great scene at any holiday event. Tell me about poinsettias. What do we got to know?
Well, there are a variety of colors. They don't come naturally with glitter on them. But if you buy them from the store, be sure to try to either use the plastic that sometimes comes with them, or a plastic bag between the store and your car and home, because that believe it or not, that short a time can really crisp those up. They are very, very tropical.
Yes, and they're very sensitive to cold. Because they're grown in Mexico.
Right.
That's their home.
Right.
Very warm climate.
Right. And also, I know we talked last time about Thanksgiving cactus. Sandy's old. How old is your Christmas cactus, you think?
Oh, goodness. It's probably 25 years old.
Whoa.
There you go.
Yeah, my Christmas. It's huge. And it's beginning to bloom right now. So it will be in full bloom by Christmas.
And is it red or pink or white?
It is that magenta. I call it magenta.
Okay.
Kind of bright pink.
Wow.
Okay.
Do you expect that bloom every year? Or,
Yes,
okay.
mine does.
Very cool.
Because it's old.
And you've shared that with lots of folks. Lots of folks
Yeah.
have starts of that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of fun. So
All
anyway,
my granddaughters have a start of it.
Very cool.
and those are so easy to start. You just
Yeah.
really much put them in the ground and they take off.
Matter of fact, a limb or petal, whatever. I don't
Whatever
know
the
what
little
they're
leaf
called.
segment.
Anyway, a big thing fell off of it as I moved it not too long ago, and I just stuck it in dirt. and it's blooming. It's got blooms on it.
What the
So,
heck?
anyway,
Very resilient.
But those are
guy.
easy, and
Yeah.
you may find some, live wreaths. Those are usually very attractive. Again, I would encourage those on the outside of your
Yeah.
house.
yes.
So
Awesome. So we've been talking
Okay.
about all types of great Christmas time plants, and we've gotten informed on those. But there's a really cool sensory garden initiative that this sensory garden's been up in Pana for a little bit, but it's got a new feature over there. What's
yes,
happening?
this last weekend when it was so nice and warm, or through the week, that is, Tony Drockton of Pana helped Karen. We had the sign, the Master Gardeners of Christian County helped with the financing, kind of augmented the No More Grow More grant funds. And so the sign is there that explains the purpose of the sensory garden, who the clientele are. It's the AAMP clients in Pana. And it also tells you, touch, taste, smell, whatever, hearing,
defines the
right?
sensory.
Kind of defines a sensory garden
Yeah.
and what it takes to make a sensory garden really work. So folks want to stop by and take a look at it. It's at the depot, or the old depot area. Really a nice little garden. It's small. It's not huge. You're not going to be, and it's very easy to walk. They've got had very, very good support from the community. And they've got very good sidewalks, so you're not going to be mudding around in the mud. So you can get out and read the sign and take a look at that and appreciate it with all of your senses.
Yeah. It sounds like it's
Yeah.
great, and it sounds like a very serene area. I
Yeah.
think the AEMP, it's Autism Movement Project. I don't know what that second
Right.
A is for, but I've seen the founders. I've heard them speak. It's such a great initiative they got. And what I love about the sensory garden, you don't need to be an expert to know what you're passing. It's really just taking all your senses
Right.
and pushing
Right.
you to use those senses.
Right.
What's it look like right now? Of course, it's a little dead right now, but during the summertime, it's very
Right.
beautiful.
Well, they've got some nice little blue stem grass and some other things that'll give you a little bit of winter interest. So like to give a real shout out to Karen Cherry for heading that project up. She's worked very hard on it and done a lot of the designing and the selection of plants. And also Janine Gruber and Jean Schuler of our Master Gardener group specifically have helped a great deal over there with mulching and teaching the clients how to care for it. So
yeah.
it's a great little addition, I think, to that community. So glad they were able to pull that off.
Really awesome. That Jean Schuler name, I recognize that Jean
Yeah.
Schuler. She calls in here for my trivia
Oh,
contest.
Okay, well, she's a
I hear
smart
from
gal,
her.
so
She's
she probably
awesome.
does.
She is
Yep.
awesome.
And also don't want people to forget, there's still time to sign up until January 10th for the online training that begins January 29th.
Beautiful. And the
And-
website people can go to for that?
extension.illinois.edu/mg/become master gardener.
Amazing. All right.
So, and like I said, we are going to offer small scholarships for any Christian County clients or residents who sign up.
Beautiful. Guys, we are out of time, but I appreciate you for taking the time and coming in today.
Okay.
Those
Thank
are
you.
Absolutely. Those are the Master Gardeners of the University of Illinois Extension. And I'm Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Thank you all for listening.
Thomas. Looks like we will not be hearing from Donald Trump.